roll call to a 9. We're still on the farm. It's a little windy, so you're gonna have to put up with the birds and some of the wind. What we got here today is the final product of my AR put together. I kind of stay off those words of building because you don't necessarily build the firearm, but you do put it together in a certain way. The upper is an AR stoner. Never shot one of these uppers, didn't hear about them. Ever since the Coco has started, parts for ARs have been hard to come by. So basically all the uppers were gone from all your usuals, palmetto, things of that nature. And the stuff that was on Bear Creek Arsenals for a budget build, there's nothing that I wanted to do. Was like a 7.62 by 39. Those type of guns, I'm just not interested in it. So I found this one on Midway USA, and this is an AR stoner. I did have to go to my local and get a front sight post on there. If you can see it, down these rails, they have just a beefy section here and at the front. If you can see it right there at the front. So the EMBA sights, the Magpul ones, they're molded, so you can't shift them to fit in between the Picatinny rail. So I had to go with these UTG sights. They've worked all right. I'm not a big fan of it because you have to physically pop them up, and then right here is a little tab to put your sight down. I like the M-Bus ones because you can just hit that little lever and they go up on their own. So that's a little bit of a drawback. Again, these are the first rounds through this gun. I did clean the gun. I took the bolt out. I swept it down. Made sure there's nothing in the barrel. It is on it's on the Poverty Pony lower, the Anderson. I've never had a problem with Anderson lowers. A lot of people talk about their lowers at times being out of spec. I've never had that issue. This is a ATI back end. Not happy with it. You could go look at the other video about it. So these are going to be the first rounds that we're going to put into this gun and see how it functions. So the magazine I have is an Amen 2. This is a pretty good company. These magazines are made in the USA. I have some, I believe this is some Federal 223 in there. I don't know if you can get that on camera. Just some 223 in there. So we're gonna run it through here. This is chambered in 5.56, so it's okay. And we're gonna give it a go and see how it goes. Let me look in there. It's a 1 in 8 twist on the barrel. So insert the magazine, and in there's a round chamber. All right. So the first shot's out of the new AR. I'm not going for any kind of accuracy stuff or anything like that. I'm just going to check the functionality and make sure this gun works. I've had it for quite some time, so here we go. All over the place, but that's all right. It locked open. That magazine out. Now, this is a cool magazine. I got a shipment from one of my buddies, Kingpin. If you don't know who he is, go check him out on the channel. He sent me a couple of these. These are GI mags. These were actually used in some form or fashion in the military. So these are GI mags. I like these a lot more than some polymer ones. If you look at my other AR video, I had a little bit trouble with the one with the Hillary on it. I've shot that magazine after that video, and I never really had a problem with it, but I'm still not going to trust my life to it. But I like these GI magazines. The only thing that I didn't do is change the follower in here for the anti-tilt. So we're going to have to see how it goes. I've shot them before before all this has gone on, where ammunition was readily available. and they work flawlessly that way. So we'll put them in here and see how it goes. Take it out. Right on camera. Works flawlessly. All right. I think there's a round in there. We'll give it a shot. There's a malfunction. I don't know if you can see it in there. There's a malfunction. Pull the bolt back. Ooh. So, looks like a double feed in there. Failure to eject. No, just a double feed. In there. So that was like on the last 2 rounds. Alright. So this. Alright, so this is a good learning experience. If I can put it up here. Woo! That's hot. So sometimes when you see people on here, you know, they have a double feed or something, they kind of throw the round back in there. With ARs, it's not as simple. This one was caught underneath the bolt. So when it got under there, it fouled up the structure of the casing, as you can see that. And it went all the way around. When this happens with rounds, I don't put them back into the firearm and try and shoot them off, just because the potential of something catastrophic. I mean, if it was, you know, some kind of, you know, situation where the shit has hit the fan, unfortunately, I'm sticking this round back in there, and I'm hoping everything goes well. But usually when cases get bent, they get some type of damage to it. I usually just toss them into some water, and then that's it. So I got a couple more magazines that we're gonna put through here and continue to check functionality. Well, these are just your basic Magpul, the black Magpul mags. I believe this might be some 5.56. Oh. Alright, so it's in there. Let's safe real quick. So we did have that little malfunction. I don't know if it's gonna be break-in or what. We'll continue to shoot it and make sure it's okay. Again, this is another Amend Second. These are made in the USA. They're pretty good. They remind me of a PMag, basically. So these are 30 rounds. So if you live in one of those states, you can't have 30 rounds. Again, I'm not going to melt this gun down. It is getting kind of hot underneath there. If you can see, it's got the M-LOK system underneath there, so I can feel some of the heat running off the barrel. But so far, we just had that little hiccup. Could have been the magazine. Again, I didn't replace the followers in those magazines, but they've worked. That's the first malfunction that I've seen those magazines have. I don't know if it was the gun or the magazine, because this is a brand new gun. I just built this gun, so I don't know. I'm not really sure if it was the gun or the magazine, because we've already ran some magazines through here and not had that kind of problem. So we'll stick this guy in there, and we'll continue to shoot this guy. All right. Make sure all my work is okay. Yeah, no pins backing out, no nothing. All right, here we go. So there's these little circles. We'll go up to the target and we'll see. There's these little circles off to the left and right. Off these targets I got from actiontargets.com. Thank you guys, by the way, for giving me some free targets from the NRA show. And these are pretty cool. They're off to the side, man. They're about a quarter size. And I'm not too far away. I'm almost halfway up the hill. So we'll go over there and take a look. But I'm going to aim at those. Pull that one. All right, so maybe it was just that magazine. We'll lay this guy down, let him cool off for a minute. We'll go walk up to the target and take a peek. I like to wear double earplugs, which I should have. No Clover Tack, go look at his video. So we'll go down here and take a look at the target. Again, I'm not going for accuracy. I can see I'm shooting low. I'm gonna have a huge divot to fix. So let me scoot you down here so you can see. Put you down further. Hopefully, camera. All right. So. All right. So these are the little holes I was talking about. I did hit one here, and I was a little low on the other side. So I'm shooting low with this AR. I am shooting downhill, so that doesn't help matters much. So I hit it once, and then down on the other side, where you can see, I got it. I'm still low there. I've got a couple up in the spot, but everything else is pretty much low. So, whether or not it was the magazine that created the malfunction, I've had that malfunction before. I don't talk about it a whole lot. But I was in a Humvee one time, and I was shooting, and I kind of call it when the round gets stuck like that in the bolt. That's a cat. It's not catastrophic in the situation I was. It was catastrophic because I had to take the magazine out, rip back the charging handle, and get that stuff out while getting shot at. So it's not fun to clear those kind of malfunctions. I call it the dead man malfunction, because if you don't clear that, and you don't clear that well, you could put yourself in a bad position. So I've seen that. That's not new to me. It's surprising to see it because I haven't seen it in quite some time. But it ran the PMags and the Men 2 fine. So I've got one more magazine, and I shit on this company a lot. So we'll give this one a whirl. So again, ProMag. Let me tell you about ProMag. I think there was one magazine that worked, but almost every ProMag magazine I have bought doesn't work. There's something that company needs to handle, and I think it's their manufacturing of their product. I mean, I have one for my Taurus, my PT709, doesn't work well in that gun. Doesn't work good in my LC9, that ProMag. Like, I've tried almost every ProMag for every gun that I own, that I bought one, and I ended up taking that magazine or selling the gun because I wanted to get something different, and giving the person that magazine and say, look, this magazine sucks, so be aware of it. Don't carry it. Use it for the range. But this is their AR magazine. So it's metal, So the only thing that makes me skeptical, I don't know if that's picking that up, is the rattling. My PMags don't do it, those Amend 2s don't do it, and that old military one doesn't do it. And if you've ever had Pro Mag stuff is not reliable at all. So we're gonna shoot it and see how it works. These are brand new. I tore them out of the packages. I loaded them with some Federal. This is some 5.56. So we'll give it a shot. Put my ears on. I'm not a big fan of Pro Mag. I talk about Pro Mag all the time. It chambered. I'm just not going to show you the target. We're just going to see if I can catch a malfunction, if this thing has a malfunction on camera. There we go. So far it's working, so maybe a good sign. Maybe their AR mags aren't as bad as their handgun magazines. And it locked open. If you can see it locked open. Pro Mag. So it worked. No malfunctions. Does it still mean I'm going to rely on this thing? No. I'm going to have to put a bunch of rounds through these magazines. I bought 3 of them. They look like a standard GI mag with the green insert there. It says it's an anti-tilt follower. You know, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, if this gun doesn't kind of work so much, or this magazine doesn't work so much, maybe taking it apart and taking the guts out of there and taking a peek. But so far it was reliable. So we'll have to keep shooting the PMag or the Pro Mag stuff and see what it does. It seems to work out of there. I got a little bit more ammunition in the truck. I'm going to fill up with that old military one, just make sure it, you know, maybe it's the breaking of the firearm. Again, I've seen that malfunction before. It's not a happy one. So, all in all, this gun's run fine with just that one little hiccup. The front sight seems to work fine. Am I going to keep those on there? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. The upper, it seems to function well. I had that one little hiccup where that round got caught underneath the bolt. The forend, the back of the firearm is probably going to get changed. I don't like this stock from ATI. Maybe I'll keep their buffer tube on here, but this stock I'm not a big fan of. I'm probably just going to take it off and put a mag pull on there. Hopefully it's compatible with this buffer tube. All in all, if you looked at that video, I'm into this gun for about 620 bucks. That's with a little bit of upgrades with the ALG trigger, and then the charging handle, and some of the other stuff that I bought for it that doesn't fit on this gun. I haven't put my red dot on there yet. I'm gonna put a red dot on there, but I mean, ARs are cool, man. I will say that a lot of people don't like them, especially the old folks, but I enjoy them. I think they're fun. I think they're really cool when you get down and dirty in there and you start building it and you start seeing it shape and you start you know, getting excited about putting the upper on there and taking it out like I just did for the first time and shooting it. It's a fun project. A lot of people aren't, you know, those anti-gunners don't understand. The other AR that I built it with my son. I'll probably never get rid of that AR. I built it with Cindy and my son. They all put in their work to keep the detents in there and all that stuff. and he's excited to shoot that gun. He hasn't shot it yet, but you know, this is the stuff that we thrive on, getting excited to shoot something that you created, you know, with the help of whoever put your lower and your upper together. You putting in the components, slapping together, making sure it's up to snuff. This is some of the funnest stuff that you can do. Finding parts right now are hard, guys. I know it, but they are out there. You just got to look. You might have to even pay a little bit more than your normal cost before all this stuff started happening. But it is doable. It is doable to build these under 600 bucks if you wait, especially around the holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, all that, Black Friday, all that stuff. Keep a lookout for parts. And even if you don't need those parts, pick them up anyway, because you never know when your lowers are going to go on sale, or somebody has a great deal on it, or a friend just doesn't have the time to build the components inside the lower. You'd always pick that up from them and then build yourself, you know, a do-all rifle. This one's going to serve a purpose. I'm going to keep on sticking rounds through it. I'm going to keep on making sure about this upper, make sure it's going to be reliable. We did have that hiccup. I'm not going to quit talking about it, because that's something in a defensive situation, that is something that can get you killed, and it can get you killed real quick. So we're just going to have to keep on shooting rounds through this and see how it goes. Other than that, it's functioned fine with the last couple of magazines we put through it. Maybe it was just a magazine issue with feeding the rounds. It could be. And eventually I'm going to change the innards of those military magazines into the anti-tilt follower ones. But other than that, I'm satisfied with it. That's what, 30, 60. That's over 100 rounds. So we're going to keep on shooting it. And again, I like to run some round counts through these guns to make sure they're going to be functional. But so far, it works fine. Other than that hiccup, I think we'll be all right. Again, I am going to change that out. So the AR, it functions. It functions fine in the most part. So I'm excited to put more rounds through here. Maybe in the next coming days, we'll do another video and we'll put another 100, 150 rounds through it. And maybe I'll get a table out here and I'll go way up on the back, and then we'll put the target a little bit further down range, and then we'll stretch it out and see what we can do at about, you know, 45, 50 yards for accuracy. It is pretty windy here, so hopefully the weather stays nice. I don't mind the wind as long as it's not rainy and cold. So that was the first look at the AR Stoner upper along with the Anderson lower. It seems to work for the most part, so we'll keep on putting rounds through it. With all that being said, I'd like to thank my old and my new subscribers and just the people that zip through. Greatly appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, share your favorite gun content all over the interwebs. You can find me on Instagram at rollcall219, where I post pictures of what I'm going to do with this rifle and other handguns I come across, not only in my job, but in my daily life as a gun owner. You can find me on Twitter, where I tweet some politicians and put out some truth messages, like I've done with the officer that was fired for defending the Constitution. So I put some of that stuff out there, and of course I always tweet some of those shitbags like AOC, Bernie, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, if she, you know, people like that, to keep them on check, that we are watching them, that we're always paying attention. You can't kind of distract us away from it, us open-minded people. So check that stuff out on Twitter, and we'll put some more rounds through this gun and see how it functions. Like always, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.